Hello guys and welcome back to the NPL Minors. So here we are with week 6. We're already 5 weeks into the season. There were already 5 games done. Of course we only played 3 of them. We climbed up from 0-2 to 3-2. This week we faced the Uzi Garden and the Bullet Punch Club. He is 1-4, but that does not say anything because he's a pretty great battler, and also he previously beat us I think 2 seasons ago in the GPC, so definitely a great contender. And he has also a pretty threatening team, and also the matchup is a bit even. I think maybe a little bit in his favor, but his team consists of Jirachi, Dragonite, Megadiancy, Drapions, Tentacruel, Rotomcat, Zoroark, Chandelure, Piloswine, Tornadus Eye. Well, my roster this week is same as last week, but Gourgeist joined the team, which I already mentioned last week. So Sea Salamence, Cobalion, Gourgeist, Mega Houndoom, Sylveon, Alakazam, Quillfish, Galvantula, Mamoswine, Slowbro, Rhyperior. Basically big threats on his part are Tornadus Eye. My flying resist is Rhyperior, so I definitely have to look out because he can easily have coverage for it. Megadiancy, I can have an answer or 2 for it, but can definitely be threatening if I don't prepare accordingly. Dragonite with C-Axis can be a little bit scary. I have some mons that can deal with it, but if it has the right C move for the mon that I kind of use as my Dragonite counter, I still can get easily obliterated. Also Terrakion can definitely be scary if I let it set up. Other than that, I think on the defense, Jirachi is always annoying. Tentacruel can be quite annoying, especially for a mon like Mega Houndoom, and Piloswine can also be pretty tough to deal with for like Salamence. So in the end, I will now go over my team builder. I opted to go not with Salamence this week actually, mainly because I would have to have coverage for like Jirachi. So mainly like something like Earthquake for Jirachi, and then Dragon Stab, and I think Earthquake and Dragon Stab would get me actually pretty far in this matchup. So I definitely thought about it, but I saw that Piloswine there, and I also saw something like Shuka Jirachi coming, and Z-Fly was also not an option to Jirachi and Megadiancy. So I thought about a Dragon Dance, Earthquake, and Dragon moveset, but mainly Piloswine was a bit deteriorating, and I had already 6 months lined up that I could not fit Salamence in as easily as I wanted to. So the mons I ended up with, first off, it was the Scarf Mamoswine. So I went with Scarf Mamoswine because his Earthquake resists were not the best. Mainly there were some immunities like Dragonite, like Rotomcat, but they get blocked by an Ice move. But if I went with like a standard Mamoswine, most of the mons on his team actually outspeed and threaten it offensively. So that's why I thought his Choice Scarf is a little bit better. I think I went with max speed just to speed type potential Scarf Chandelure, just in case. Then my defensive core mainly consists of Gourgeist, which is really defensive because I had to deal with the Terrakion in some way. I had to Cobble Berry in case pursued Zoroark, because I can't let this one get whittled down or even killed easily off by like a disguised Zoroark and then losing my Terrakion check. So it's basically a fairly standard set of Will-O-Wisp and Seed Bomb. Shadow Sneak was mainly there to do some chip damage to his more speedy mons, and then just Synthesis. Then Slowbro is mixed it's actually max defense with an Assault Vest, mainly there for the Megadiancy, can switch in to all his hits pretty nicely. Has Scald, Ice Beam, Psychic was pretty much the coverage it needed. I kind of feared something like a Calm Mind Megadiancy, so that's why I attacked on Iron Tail, which does a tremendous amount to it actually. And also I could run minus speed nature, so it hit even a little bit harder. Then one of my offensive mons, Sash Alakazam. So I went with Sash again this week because of the vast amount of setup he has with Terrakion, with D-Knight, pretty big threats. Tornadus could even be. So I definitely wanted the Sash to be intact and be able to not be easily swept by them, and then just have the coverage accordingly. Basically Psychic, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, pretty standard coverage, and on HP Ice for the Dragonite. And then I went with a Spadef Rapeo with a Rindoberry, which can live quite a number of hits, especially from Torn Eye, which is mainly there for them Edgequake, and Stealth Rocks were pretty nice, and Hammer Arm I need for certain mons. Mainly something like Pilot Swine. And then Mega Houndoom. So yes, Tentacle can probably deal with Houndoom to a certain extent, but actually with a Sunny Day up, I get the solar power boost, so I hit a lot harder, and also I get solar beam access, so even if he decided maybe that the Yancy is a switch in, with Sunny Day solar beam I easily bop a Mega Yancy, which resists my dual stabs pretty easily, and HP still was not that great actually in this matchup, because also Tentacle could be the answer, or both could be like half of the answer. So that's why I went with this set. Pretty straightforward, but I think it can actually do some work if he's not like Max Pedef, AV, Tentacruel, but then I can deal with that with some of my other mons, mainly Slowbro or Alexander. I don't want the Sash block, so I have to look out for that. So let's just hop right into the game. So as you can see, he brought the Chandelure, the Rotom Cut, the Jirachi, the Magdiancy, the Torn Eye, and the Tentacruel. So Magdiancy, Torn Eye, Tentacruel, pretty expected. And then the other three, like Jirachi was a toss-up, Chandelure, to a certain extent I could see it coming, but mainly because I have a mon like Mega Houndoom, I did not see it coming that easily. Rotom Cut, it's pretty decent because grass type moves pop my two ground types, so okay, that was fairly great bring. I definitely expect the Pilot Swine mainly for my Salamence, because if I brought Salamence this game, I think Salamence would have done an enormous amount of work actually. So that's a little bit of a misprep on my part actually. So no Pilot Swine, also no Drapion, no Dragonite, so two of his biggest setup mons, so that's something to consider, but it also means that Gorgas is kinda expendable, because what is it doing this week? Yeah, it switched into Jirachi, but that's about it. It does not deal that well with the other mons actually. Yeah, so I will probably just use it as more of a scout. That's exactly what I do. I lead off with Gorgas, also kind of expecting him to lead off with the Rotom, and thinking that Gorgas is one of my best leads against Rotom. Of course, Houndoom was also a pretty big lead, but if he led with some of his other mons, like Jirachi for example, then I think Gorgas was a better lead. So I immediately frisk his Yachi Bear, so that's pretty nice. So this is probably was there mainly for the Mamoswine to catch it off guard, so that's pretty nice to know in advance. So here I just throw off a Will-O-Wisp. This Gorgas is pretty, yeah, it's not that necessary this game, so I just want to scout out what kind of sets he is on his mons and just get a little bit of chip damage off. So he Toxics me, so revealing to me that he is most likely more of a bulky Rotom, so definitely have to get this down all weekend, because yeah, I have that Scarf Memo in the back, but as you can see, he actually has 2 Earthquake immunities and the other ones are weak to Earthquake, so I definitely have to play this pretty great, or just try to get rid of his Earthquake immunities early on, and then Memo can do a pretty nice amount of work actually. So here I sneak for a little bit more chip, he vaults out into Tornado, so that's pretty big actually. Of course it's pretty necessary, but so here I was thinking, okay, he sees a Gourgeist, he's like, okay, how is this Gourgeist going to touch my Tornadoes? The answer is, it does not really. There is like this Raperior in the back, and I definitely want to deal with it. So I thought he might overpredict and try to catch my Raperior, and I didn't want to risk my Raperior. Well, as I mentioned, Gourgeist is not that great this match, so I just stay in. I believe I fired off a Will-O-Wisp just to chip down the Tornadoes, and if he has some attacking moves, also that's pretty nice. But he just straight up goes for the Hurricane and hits, so I did not expect him to go straight for Hurricane, but that's all fair. Reveals to be Live Orb, that's fine with me. So I go out into my Raperior because I also have the Rindoberry. Here I believe I just set up my rocks as he brings in Jirachi. He makes a nice double into Rotom actually. But I make the double into Houndoom actually, so what ends up happening is like Jirachi, I thought that if he goes for like an attack, he either just sets up his own rocks, or he goes for something like Flash Cannon or Grass Knot himself to just try to cover it. So that's also why I went with Houndoom, and also because I saw Rotom as the potential of a switch in. So I go with Houndoom, and that's pretty nice to get it in actually. So here I don't expect him to stay in, so I just set up a Sunny Day, as he indeed goes into Tentacruel, and depending on what kind of Tentacruel it is, I might actually two-shot it with a Fire Blast. A little bit unfortunate that I take solar power damage, even if it's on the turn that I set up Sunny Day, but that's fine with me. So I go for Fire Blast, does 39, I'm thinking, okay, he's either AV with almost no investment, or he's max PDF, no AV, I don't know. At this point, that's something that is looking for my calcs. So I think, okay, that's alright. He as he here just goes for the spin, which I kind of expected him to. So here I switch out because I can take a surf, but I don't want to, don't need to. So I go out into slow bro. I believe I fire off just, oh no, I make again a double, so that's pretty nice. I expected Jirachi was like most likely to come in, especially with Sun up. It was like his only psychic resist also, so it was pretty yeah, it was pretty obvious in a certain way that he would bring in Jirachi. I went Rhyperior because sorry, Rhyperior covers actually a few things. So mainly I wanted rocks up again, which is exactly what I do. I set up my rocks again as he subs. So sub lefties rings a bell immediately. He's probably sub Calm Mind, so I have to keep that in mind for the remainder of the game. Here he just fires off Flash Cannon, but because I have such a great speed def investment, it does not do much. So here he switched out in the road to Mo. I think I just went for safe EQ. I should have definitely played it a little bit more risky. I should have made the double back out into Houndoom actually and just attack from there. Try to chip down the Tentacruel to put it in range of two hits from Houndoom. Or I should have went with Stone Edge, but on the off case that he would sell up, I definitely should have went with Stone Edge or just a double into a mon like Houndoom. There's a little bit of a misplay by me, just playing it a little bit too safe. Here I stay in because as I mentioned, this Rotom is a pretty big threat for Memo, and if I can get this Rotom down, then I'm in a pretty good position. And with my Rindoberry, and from the looks of it, he has almost no attacking investment in this Rotom. So he goes to Leaf Storm and actually manages to kill me. And we calced after the game, and this was actually, I think, one of the highest rolls he could possibly get. It might even be a max roll. So that's pretty unfortunate, because otherwise Stone Edge with the burn damage definitely would have killed this Rotom, because Repair is actually pretty strong. So from the calcs, yeah, it definitely killed the Rotom. And with Rotom down, and even if Repair is really low, it depends what he does next. So it would definitely shift the entirety of the game, because he can revenge with any one of his mons. But as you will see, some of the turns that now happen would not have happened if this Rotom went down earlier to the Rhyperior. And so here I go Houndoom, I revenge it, just with a Dark Pulse. He's in range, so he lets his Rotom go down. So still, if this Tornadus goes down, it would be pretty nice for Memo. But now, as you see, he goes Tentacruel, so he gets a safe switch in Tentacruel, which means he gets a safe spin off, and I can't get up my rocks again because Rhyperior is dead. If Rhyperior lived the hit from Rotom, he would have not. His Rotom would have been dead. He needed to revenge my Rhyperior with him on. Say he does that with his Tentacruel. Okay, he either he might have been able to rapid spin kill me, but still. Then I wouldn't have needed to be like at 1%, because I don't even think it does 2%, because it's resisted. Repair is pretty bulky, Tentacruel is not a high amount of the attack. So if he could not rapid spin kill my Repair actually, he would have not been able to spin in that position, because I would just, or he might have spinned, but then I would have killed his Tentacruel, which would have been big for Houndoom. So all I'm trying to say with all this talking is that he would have not have gotten rid of his rocks as easily as he can do now, and that's pretty big. Rocks up or not are pretty big actually. So that just that one turn with that roll really shifted the game. So here I take a little bit of more damage. He gets crit rapid spin. It might matter. You will see, maybe it might matter a little bit. So I set up the Sunny Day. Here I go for Dark Pulse, because it was at like 36%, and from the calcs I was doing, Dark Pulse definitely would kill from that range, and I didn't want to risk a Fire Blast miss, because that would be pretty unfortunate. But actually after the game we calced, apparently that first Fire Blast hit was actually a max roll. but because it was a max roll and I did not know that, so I assumed it was just an average roll, because normally you get average rolls at average. Pretty straightforward. So because I assumed his set based off on that roll, I did not know that if that first Fire Blast actually did less, and I saw, oh, that Fire Blast did do so much, that means Dark Pulse at this range will not kill, I would have gone like into Slowbro, most likely on the Rapid Spin already, and just went from there, and not try to with Houndoom as I do now, because I would preserve it actually for later on in the game. So that's actually pretty big and also pretty unfortunate. So yeah, Houndoom takes a big chunk of damage actually, is even in range of the next solo power hit. So now it's a double down, which I either I would have went for a little bit more chip and then killed it later on. So that's really unfortunate. So I go out into Memo because it has the best offensive matchup. Here he goes Chandelure, and I just straight up go for the EQ, as he actually goes hard into Tornadoes. I did not really expect him to, because actually I could have made the prediction of just Ice Cold crashing, because we both speed tie, and I threaten out Chandelure more than he does to me, and also I definitely could have made a prediction or just went with the ice move on the next turn, because I'm full health. I probably take any one hit from the Tornadoes. So here I have to go out into LXM, as he says, but Tailwind, pretty much expecting him to, pretty much he expected to die, but I was scarfed, so unfortunately I had to switch out. So that play really helped him by going hard Tornadoes. So here I just go for Psychic, Tailwind is up, but I still have my station tag, but I still don't want to break it because Slowbro is still pretty safe switching. He gets a crit Diamond Storm, pretty unfortunate. Slowbro would have been at a lot of higher health, which now it takes also this Moonblast. It's able to kill off the Mega DNC, but I think it would have been at like 30% higher than it is now, and that comes into play later on. So here he goes Jirachi. I know I have to go hard into Memo, and I have to lock myself into Earthquake, because he is probably Subcon Mind, and only Memo can deal with that at this point. So he flash cannons, I know I live, and here again it's like, okay, what do I do? If he had enough speed on his Jirachi, which I don't remember, I actually think he was almost max per def, because from my calcs earlier on, that revealed to be the case, which means that a max speed Memoswan would always outspeed. So, and just Jirachi kind of beats the last two mons, but it does not beat the Memo. But again, he goes hard into Tornadoes on my Memo, and I'm definitely not expecting him to go hard into Tornadoes those turns, which is a little bit unfortunate. Here he Hurricanes, I go Alakazam as he Tailwinds, and I get a crit of Psychic, and that's actually also really bad for me, because now pretty much Chandelure comes in and basically kills off the remainder of my 3 mons with Shadow Ball. If I did not crit the Tornadoes, there were a few things that could have happened. So I would definitely click Shadow Ball with Alakazam, which either after this turn, so 3 turns left, that's exactly enough. But normally one of those turns would be Tornadoes being alive. He either kills Alakazam, we go with a double down, because he was without a crit, he was in live op range most likely, or he switches out and something takes a big Shadow Ball, which I think they can take it, but it definitely depends a little bit. Depends a little bit, so it definitely would have played out a little bit differently. And also, what's also important to keep in mind is, so he goes for Shadow Ball. Here I go into my AV Slowbro, which is now at 52%, which without the crit would have been at like 20-30% higher. And if that was the case actually, then it was pretty hard. It was a roll to kill my Slowbro with Chandelure, and if he was not able to kill my Slowbro, the Tailwind would have petered out. Then the Scarf Man will actually clean up with Earthquake. So, well, still GG to Uzi. He really catch me off guard with some of his plays, some of his prep actually. So GG to him, but I think definitely this game, like the crit on my end was a bit unfortunate. The crit on Slowbro I think was the biggest unfortunate of the two crits. The crit from Zam was also a little bit unfortunate, but was manageable. The rolls just was, they catch me off guard because I mentioned already, Rapero being able to kill the Rotom and being able to live just one other turn would have definitely steered the game in a different direction. And also if I knew the first Fire Blast from Houndoom was a max roll, so if I got just a bit of a lower roll, I would have played Houndoom a little bit differently. If I had Houndoom still around, it was actually pretty nice against his team because it outsped his whole team. So that was just some unfortunate cases this match has happened, but it's Pokemon, it's all fair and square. At the end of the day, you lose some, you win some. We're sitting at 3 and 3. I believe we're now in 3rd or 4th spot in our conference. Still are gunning for playoffs. We still have, I believe, 4 more weeks to go. We definitely play some of our division, our conference rivals. First off, we play actually Garni Hobo. It's the last out of conference match, I believe. So first we're going to try to win that one, and then we will see in the few remaining games what we can do against our conference rivals, and if you can clinch a playoff spot. We will just have to see how we will do, guys. That's it for me, and I will catch you later. Bye.